Hi, everyone. It's Lindsay Baker with the Action Hour, and I'm here with one of my very, very, very good friends, Sky Valencia. And Sky, of course, is in charge of St. Martin's Animal Foundation. But what we want to get right to is what's going on right now in Wyoming. And I'm going to show a clip right now, and we'll talk. And Sky and I are going to talk. And of course, what we just saw was this was from the Onaqui Roundup, because I didn't have footage of what's going on. This is what it looks like, folks.
Yeah, and this is how horrible it is. It is, people don't see this. And what's really sad is that most of the horse people that I have met, that own horses, don't even realize what's happening with the BLM, the ranchers, and the horses in the burros. And they actually think that, you know, they're taking care of the horses and that's their job, that they're actually doing what's best for them. But more and more environmentalists and, you know, environmental biologists are realizing that for decades, this has been a horribly abusive process. And there's a lot of greed and lies behind this whole thing. So, yeah, it's really bad. And Wyoming right now is having a historical roundup that started on Thursday. And this roundup is supposed to go on maybe until December. And it's just incredible that we can allow this to continue.
We have to stop it. That's the key. And we're going to be bringing up several times today what you can do. We have a 5-point program that you have on your website. Most importantly is to contact your representatives. And you can contact the president, you can contact the Secretary of Agriculture, but we're going to get into all that. But we do need people to take action, and that is why we're here today. And you have a campaign that you've started, and we want to go through and explain how people can get involved in that campaign and take action. So it's going to be right here for you folks. So Sky, let's start off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this? Because I know you moved from LA to Nevada. And you got involved and you went to a big protest. Talk about that first, where it started.
Okay, so as you know, I'm more of a dog rescue lady, and I do a lot of vegan outreach. We started so many years ago, 1999. We kind of started doing the vegan outreach, and but there was always, I knew about the horses and the roundups, but I didn't really study about it because I was so, you know, caught up with so many other things that were going on. There's so many horrible things happening to animals. But then recently, just like a few months back, this wonderful lady named Erica Brunson from Erica Brunson Designs and Pam Wilkinson asked me if I would go with them to Utah to a rally that was at the state capitol. And they know that I like to really promote anti-animal abuse, and I'm really good at, you know, campaigning toward an animal that's being targeted. So I went along, and it was all of these wonderful activists. All of these wonderful activists were there that have been following this herd for decades. Some of them are photographers, some are biologists, some are suffering from depression, and their doctor told them to follow the herd because it's very calming and spending time in nature. And they love these horses. And we had celebrities out there. We had all the news stations, experts, and the roundup still continued against the people's will. And that's what's alarming, because when the people don't want something like this, and they're supposed to be working for the people, but they continue to abuse the animals, that's when we have to take notice and say, maybe it's time to change things. Now, according to Carol Walker, she's this wonderful animal advocate who's dealing with the Wyoming checkerboard herd right now that's being just annihilated. She requests that we just do a complete investigation of the BLM, a serious investigation of every travesty that's happened, and really find out what's going on with these horses and why we can't even see them after they're rounded up. why they're being held, privately in captivity.
Well, I have to tell you that I did interview, that is the case in certain areas. And I know that from talking to Jen Rogers, just want to bring this up about the Onaqui herd, that the BLM in that area, the officials that are controlling the animals allow them to go in. They've been really good. They've been documenting them, tagging them, and trying to adopt them out in small, what are they called? Not herds. It's the smaller groups, the bands. So trying to get the bands of the matriarch, patriarch, and all of the cults and everything to go together. So that is happening in some areas, and we do have to invite the BLM on at any time to on Jane UnChained to give us their side of the story. But go ahead. I just want to bring that up. Different areas of the BLM are responding differently. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I would say that maybe there are some animal lovers, horse lovers, involved with BLM, but from most of the environmentalists that have been following the herd for decades, who are with them all the time, not just like hearsay, but actually follow and watch what's happening and try to help these horses. It's very brutal. It's very abusive.
Oh, absolutely.
The horse, the Roundup itself, the colts usually get injured because they're young and they get, caught up in that whole stampede. And the seniors end up breaking their limbs and usually get euthanized. And that's something they don't bring up. And they don't even really, put that as some of the statistics of the horses that are missing. And, maybe they're working with Jen because, Jen has to work with them a little bit to make sure that some are getting adopted. And all of us need to work on that because.
Well, the thing is about the adoptions and the Roundups is that very few get adopted. And many of them are going in there's investigations, they're going into the meat trade in Canada and Mexico. We've also done shows on that. So
exactly. When you think about
the thing is that the only thing I was saying that was different, everything you say I agree with, but the only thing I was saying is different is that maybe certain areas of the BLM are not allowing them to see the horses, but in other areas they are cooperating a little bit, which is rare, but we do want to be fair and mention that. That's the only thing. I just want to clarify that. So that everything else you said, I totally.
And you heard something that I haven't heard yet because from the people I've heard from, and these are people that, like say, write books about the Anunnaki that have, they're environmental people. These are people that aren't just photographers. They're actually people that have been following this herd for a long time and, take statistics of how many colts are left, how many herds are here, how many herds are up by the mountains. They know the names and the history.
Right.
I follow what they say. And what they say is once they're rounded up, they have a really hard time finding out where they are, how many were rounded up, why there's so many missing sometimes, why certain ones were euthanized. There's a lot of stuff that's covered up. And I'm not an expert here because I'm just learning myself. I'm good at campaigning and I'm great at helping animals that are in need.
So let's talk about the campaign. Go ahead and talk about your campaign.
Okay. Well, the campaign is basically our charity is basically hosting a campaign to get other environmentalists and links up on our website so people can learn from the experts. Because like I said, I'm a dog expert, but I'm not a horse expert. I'm just learning and I want to know more because it's such an incredible, injustice that's happening to the burros and horses. And the other question is, why is it happening in such a fast pace? It's like they're annihilating these animals quickly and to the point where they're going to be gone. We're not going to have any more. And so we really got to stand up for them. So we started this campaign and it's to follow 5 steps. So if you go to our website, which is St. Martin's Animal Foundation, you can go to our website and you'll see a big picture of the horses. And then you press that and it'll give you all the information you need to know, all the experts that we've spoken with, upcoming roundups, which people should be bear witnessing to, because when you get to a point where these roundups are so, brutal and they're happening so quickly, there's really not even time to campaign before it happens. So all you can do is get a hold of the BLM's website, find out what roundups are taking place in your state and bear witness, bring your cameras, bring your video, and we need people to see what's happening. And it's really, really, yeah, it's something that everybody who cares about freedom should really look into, because when we help the horses with their freedom, we're helping ourselves too, because this is just something that is wrong. It's very wrong. And if we don't stand up for them, then we can lose other freedoms too.
And we do know what the major cause is and who they're campaigning for. It's the cattle industry. And, you know, I've had Craig on, I've had several people on discussing this in different areas. The Onaqui also had on, oh, I can't think of her name right now, but she was the Nevada, the roundup that's about to happen with the Heber herd. That's Arizona, sorry, the Heber herd, Arizona. There's a lot of different factions. So I've spoken to several. Craig, I want to mention, Craig has done these photos for us, and I don't want to forget to say that. So this is some of Craig's photography, Craig C. Downer. And he is, what Sky was just talking about is absolutely true. Going out and documenting. Jen as well does documenting, and that's how she knows even the names. And she came on about 3 weeks ago and discussed all of this. So that's why I know about it a little bit. I don't know everything either. There's so much to learn.
There is so much to know. And
the fact that
sometimes
you're doing
when I think I'm helping,
right,
you know, they jump back and they're like, we've already done that. We need to find another route. We got to figure something out. And it's probably one of the most cruel things you can do to the wild horses, because horses already get spooked easily. I mean, I've ridden horses where you go by a tractor and they freak out, you know, or they see something blowing in the wind and they go back. So can you imagine with these low flying helicopters, what they do to these horses? And the horses sometimes even try to attack the helicopters. The stallions and mustangs who are protecting their families, it's heartbreaking to watch, will charge the helicopters, try and protect their young and their family. And these are just sensitive animals that are, this is their land. And we're moving them out just like we did with the Indians. And it's not right. I mean, this is federal land that has been given to them. And then they take them out and they bring in their cattle and their sheep, saying that they didn't have enough food. And then the cattle and the sheep destroy the land in a way that it can't be repaired. And that's
even, you can even look at it in this picture here that I have. Let me find the right one here. Look at the difference in what the land looks like when the cattle are on it, as opposed to, and the thing about what I've learned from Craig when I interviewed him was that when the horses come through, they choose, pick and choose what they eat. So it doesn't decimate everything.
Exactly. They graze. They don't rip out from the root. And also the cattle tend to be right by the water. They don't want to move around. So they drink up all the water.
And
the poor cattle. I love the cattle. I mean, it's
I do too.
And they get slaughtered, which is horrible. And the sheep are getting slaughtered. It's like a cycle that needs to now change and evolve with the humans, because we're not eating as much meat anymore. We're evolving because we know it's really bad for the environment, and the way that we're raising animals causes dead zones and these horrible blood pools.
That's right.
So now it's kind of like all tied in, you know, and I'm hoping that some of the horse people who still eat meat, who love horses, realize that they're part of the problem, because they are asking for more beef. You know, every time you're going through those drive-throughs, you're contributing to these horses suffering.
So true. And you can get an Impossible burger, right?
Yes. Or you can even create your own burger. I've been learning how to, like, you know, just blend different beans and, you know, grains, and you can make a delicious organic burger at home. But if you really want that authentic, you know, that tasty flavor, Impossible's there. And what's the other one?
Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat. That's the other one. But there's no reason not to have a healthy diet anymore. That you have everything you need. So, anyways, the campaign.
Let's get back to that. But let's just say hi to Lori Allen real quick here.
Lori Allen is one of our beautiful celebrities. Yes.
Yeah, Craig's watching.
Hey, Craig. So Craig and Lori are wonderful. They're on our team, and Lori is the voice of characters on SpongeBob SquarePants and the Family Guy, and she's so talented. And she's always been helping us out by donating her time to whatever it is that we are doing, whether it's helping dogs from Mexico, and now she knows the plight of the horses, so she's jumped on board for that. And she just did a great commercial for us yesterday that will be playing on Coyote Radio here in Nevada, as well as other radio stations across the western states where the roundups are taking place.
Well, Sky, you are amazing the way that you get put together these campaigns. So talk a little bit more about how people can take photos like we saw. I'll go through the photos maybe, and you can talk about that a little bit, about your campaign.
Yes, and you're part of the campaign too, Lindsay. And what we do is we get these friends who are real activists or influencers, celebrities, and they wear a cowboy hat. They take a picture with this poster, like you see, that's our partner, Letha Coughlin. And we change it to kind of a sepia tone black and white photo and just start sending these out on Instagram and, you know, anywhere we have social media so that people start taking notice to keep the wild horses and burros wild. So if you would like to do this and help us out, and if you know, have a horse even you want to take a picture with, or your dog, and hold the poster, our wonderful graphic designer, Mercedes Jennings, will send you the graphics by email, and you just blow it up and take a picture and send it back to us. And that's one great way you can help the horses. Another great way is to join us at a concert on October 23rd. We're going to be having this huge outreach table at Big and Rich, the country band who sings, you know, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And we were, Coyote Radio was kind enough to jump on board and give us, you know, some creative control to do flyering and raise donations for our campaign. That's them right there, these great guys. And so they have a lot of fans, and we're hoping that we can get their fans on board to do the 5 steps, go to the website and call the representatives, and most of all, bear witness and learn, because calling your representatives is sometimes very hard to get a hold of them. Unfortunately, you know, President Biden just allowed wolf puppies to be not euthanized, actually murdered in dens. He just passed that recently for the cattlemen. So you have to kind of figure out how we go around this if everybody's kind of working together to hurt the animals. So right now, that's what we're trying to figure out. But I think when you have the masses, when you have people together like Craig Downer, like, you know, Randall, like, you know, all these people who have been doing this for a long time. And then we have celebrities like Elaine Hendricks and, you know, Garth Kemp, the weatherman, and John Kapelos from, you know, 16 Candles and Breakfast Club, all these wonderful celebrities coming on board because they know that the horses need to have their freedom. And there's definitely something tied into our freedom, their freedom.
Catherine Hagel is on board as well, right?
Yes, and she was at the first rally, and she was very upset when she, you know, also learned about the travesties that are going on. And we really thought we were going to stop this roundup in Nevada. I mean, excuse me, in Utah. And it still happened. And it was heartbreaking because we really tried hard, you know, and it makes you wonder, what does it take to stop this? So all I can do is what I know. And that's just to get the word out, to get more celebrities involved, to get people to go to the 5 steps, you know, and do the 5 steps, which also means to educate yourself. Because if you educate yourself, then you can speak about it and people come on board. And like I said, most horse people who love horses don't even know what's happening. They don't know, you know, and the poor burros. We rarely talk about them, but they need homes too. And they're getting rounded up and they have nowhere to go.
And it's even harder to get people to connect with a burro than a horse. I think almost everybody relates to horses at some point in life, even people that are, you know, non-vegan and they maybe have owned a horse or ridden horses. They have no idea. And that's part of the idea of what you're putting out there and saying so well. You know, these are family units. And when the stallion is taken away or the mare is taken away, the rest of that band is that many of them die. And like you say, the babies get trampled. We saw it in the video. that I played. You saw the one horse that got trampled right there in the video. I mean, it's horrible. And the point that no matter the will of the people, once again, just like with Prop 12, the will of the people, if we're not careful, Prop 12, they're already bringing up this EATS Act. Jane did a show about that last week. They're trying now in 2022, the Prop 12 gets rid of the gestation crates for pigs. And the pork industry is trying to block it. And it's the same thing here, the will of the people.
Right.
And that's what you're trying to bring out here and what you're saying so well. And so I'm so glad that you're doing this campaign, and you do so much great work for animals. I just want to bring that up right now.
Thank you. And Lindsay, I definitely want to get more people, if you live in Las Vegas, to come to the show on October 23rd, because it's not just our charity. There's going to be other charities there that you can support that are doing good things for the environment and for children.
The show.
This is going to be at Craig's Ranch, and it's the amphitheater at Craig's Ranch in Las Vegas. It's October 23rd, and it's a big and rich country concert. There's going to be a few bands playing before, and we're raising donations to keep the campaign going, because it is costly to do these radio spots. We're going to be doing, all kinds of ads and billboards, anything to keep this momentum going and to get it to go viral. Because once it goes viral, and this is a common problem that everybody understands, that's when people will start changing. And I think also BLM and the ranchers are starting to take notice that more celebrities, more activists, more lawyers, more environmentalists are really, are fed up. And so they're trying to change and say, well, we're actually helping the horses that are injured. We're actually doing this. But we'll see, It would be a dream if somehow we can all work together, but there's been so much abuse for so many decades already.
And I think people
are
Sure, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to point out that I was not minimizing that the BLM is what they're doing is horrific. They are not cooperating large scale from what I can see and from the people I've interviewed. And again, I'm on at any time. But in this one, we see a little crack, and like you said just now, we see little cracks, and these little cracks are good. We want to encourage them to keep allowing them to go in and get these horses out if they are indeed doing that. So
right.
But
and we also got to get them adopted. I mean, that's the next thing. The campaign is also going to have a list of people that have land. If you can put some of these horses on your land, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to ride them. I don't think that's the goal here. They don't want to be ridden. But if you could, even the ones that they've castrated already, who probably will be able to be ridden eventually, they need homes. When you think about over 60,000 horses, and then we're continuing to round them up, it's ludicrous. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And it's just so abusive. So I'm glad I can do this. And I'm so happy you brought me on board to speak on your show, because it really needs to get out there.
Absolutely. And, we want to keep bringing this subject up. And I agree with you 100%. It's like an advertising campaign. You can't tell the story once. So we've invited several different organizations on. And one thing I have to say, every organization I talk to has a little bit different angle. It all sounds, and I know the idea is to get the horses, and that's Jane UnChained. For us, we just want to give you guys the platform. We give you all of you the platform to come on and help we want those horses out. That's our goal. And I know that's your goal, and that's something common. And I hope that
we want them left alone, basically. We don't want them castrated. We don't want them to be on birth control. We have no right to be bothering these horses, just like they have no right to be in our homes and bothering us. We wouldn't want helicopters chasing our family and our seniors down the street. My mother would never make it, and we got to think of our families, their families the same way. There's some stallions taking care of senior stallions. We've witnessed it. And those stallions never made it through the Roundup because they were already compromised from being old. And that's not a way to die. That's not a way to treat these majestic, mystical, healing horses. We have to give back to them because they give so much back to so many people that suffer from all kinds of issues. And just their beauty is just magnificent. And we need these horses as part of our legacy, you know, they're part of our history. Some of them have been around since 600 years ago. Some of these herds have been traced back 600 years, and we're annihilating them. It's just heartbreaking. So that's where we are, and I know things are going to change. And with these great people we have on board, like, you know, these experts and celebs and environmentalists and influencers like you, we can make a change. And yeah, it will happen. It will happen because there's enough voices out there right now that are very upset of seeing what's happening to these poor wild horses and burros.
This was one of the, you know, horse soaring, of course, this is the legislation site, I think. This was on your website as a place to go to take action. So yes. I thought I'd bring it up. And there's several different things, pending legislation on this particular website.
If you go to our website, we also have legislation. We've got links to environmental experts. We have beautiful stories written by all kinds of people that have been following the herd that actually know how these horses act with their families, how they react to the helicopters, how they act after they've been stressed out and held in confinement and then re-released. They're not the same horses anymore. And it's almost like, I don't think anybody would be the same after going through that kind of trauma. You know, Craig Downer and, you know, Tina Wooten and all these wonderful people, Carol Walker, they walk the talk. They live and breathe these wild horses. And they're my liaisons. They're the ones I go to find out the facts because they're there. You know, they are helping every day. So I'm just so grateful that they brought me in, and Erica Brunson, you know, explained to me how serious the subject was. And once I learned, there was no going back. It's almost like the wiping out of our beautiful wolves. Once you know and you understand what's going on in the background, you have to do something. So I'm excited, and I know that this is going to be a great campaign. And Lindsay, I'm looking forward to doing more photos with you and some of our friends.
That would be great. Any way I can help. Yeah. And, you know, Craig has been on twice so far. He's come in and talked to us. Yeah, we've had him on. And he comes on actually quite often to help because, like I said, I invite you on again. You know, we want to keep the story going. We don't want to let it die. So anything we can do to help. Is there anything else? We still have a little bit of time. Is there anything else?
Now, I have some friends that have horses, and I think that they would possibly, everybody could probably fit in one more horse. They possibly could. So I'm asking also friends to start reaching out to friends that have horses, that have land, because that is such an important thing. We have horses that are coming up for adoption this month and next month, and the horses that were rounded up in Colorado. They're rounding up the horses in Arizona. And one more thing about the horses in Arizona, the ones that live on the top of the peak, there's an area, and they are these big, massive horses. And if they round up those horses, they will be compromised with those cliffs and those rocks. They're not going to be able to round them up without them getting injured.
Killed.
So we really want to stop that. And it would be really nice if we could stop the Wyoming roundups. We don't want them to continue through December.
Oh my gosh.
Enough is enough. That's a long rounding up horses.
Sorry. How many more roundups do you have any idea? You may not know this, but how many more roundups in Wyoming are planned? It's not like every week or something, is it?
Oh, it's not going to stop. It started on Thursday. They're planning on going for the next 3 weeks.
So many.
Yeah, it's just continuing. It's not even stopping. It's an ongoing roundup through.
It's going on now.
Right.
It's going on right now, folks. And that's the thing. Please go to Sky's website. Let me put this up here. stmartins.org.
stmartinsrescue.org. And, you know, please donate, because we do have to make these radio spots and they are costly. And we do want to do some billboards, especially in areas where there's a lot of horse lovers. And we have to hit all the radio spots in Washington, Arizona, not Washington, Wyoming, Montana, all the places that they're doing the roundups. All the Western states are doing roundups. And, you know, I'm kind of at a loss because it's happening so fast. It's
Right.
happening almost like it's being done to wipe them out. And that's
Yeah.
what's scary.
It is going to wipe them out. It is
Yeah.
going to wipe them out. Absolutely. And we do have to take this very, very seriously.
We do. And just to see them running freely. I mean, horses have so much energy. When you see a horse running full speed, it's like watching a greyhound or a cheetah running full speed. It makes your hair stand on end. It's beautiful.
Right.
That's what it's meant to be. These horses will never have a chance to ever have that experience again. Ever. That's it for them. So at least we can give them a decent life. A decent life where they're not slaughtered. Yeah. But I love you, Lindsay. And I thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, yes. And this is your email address. And this is for people that want to get involved in the campaign, correct?
Yes. And don't forget to take a picture like, you know, the ones we
Yeah. So let's go back and show that again for people that
Yes, we need these photos again because anybody can do this. If you're a horse lover, activist, influencer, celebrity, musician, whatever you do, there's Billy McNamara. He's one of our celebrities. He's wonderful. Just, you know, contact us through our website, or you can email me at stmartinsrescueranch@gmail.com, and we will send you the image. And you just blow it up, take a picture, send it back to us, and we will throw it all over social media. And that's how we're going to keep it going. Plus, we're getting TikTok going as well, and other cool ways of doing social media for the horses.
Who's this gentleman?
This is Randall. Randall is he's also one of those environmental people that's been following the horses for a long time. He helps with legislation. He, you know, puts rallies together. He's very outspoken for the horses. He's a good friend with like Tina Wooten and all those people that you've had on your show.
Wooten, I hear.
And Craig, yeah, Craig
and
Downer.
Craig, I'm sure Craig can have a whole group of you guys on. That'd be fun.
That would be great. I would love that. Yeah.
That would be good. I wanted to just say though that anyone can take a picture. Like I'm not a celebrity. I took a picture. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a celebrity, right? Am I right?
You don't have to be a celebrity. What we want you are a celebrity though. So I don't know what you're talking about. But to me you are. But anybody can do it as long as you can kind of, you know, help us out and post it on your social media, put it up on Facebook, put it on your Instagram, and then maybe tag our website so people can learn more about the 5 steps. 5 steps, 5 steps, 5 steps. Keeping it organized, because it's really nice to have all of these people who love horses. But if we don't all organize ourselves to do one thing that the whole public can do to make a difference, then we're kind of spinning our wheels. So the 5 steps is basically try to do the 5 steps. Contact, you know, your representatives, learn about the plight of the horses, especially from Craig Downer, who really, really knows what's going on. And
we do have a paper by Craig that's offered, and I'm going to put all the links that you're talking about, including to the show where you're going to do the big promotion. They will be available in the comments of this, and we'll pin the most important information at the top. So
perfect. And also Carol Walker, maybe sometime you can interview her. She's the one right now helping the Wyoming horses, but she also helps horses all around the United States. She's a photographer too, but also an environmentalist, and she's really amazing. She's been helping me out with a lot of information too. And she's a go-getter, man. She is tough. So I'm glad she's on board. Yeah. Let's say
hi to a few of the people that are commenting. Tina, one of our great fans, she's here all the time supporting Jane UnChained.
Hi,
Tina. And she's saying, oh my gosh, this has to stop. And please take the steps. This is one of our great activists. She does. She shares. She does it. So everyone, please join her and share this broadcast out, because that'll bring more people to see this broadcast and then get all the information, of course. So please do that as well. And
Exactly.
Sophia says this is devastating. Why? Just why? Well, that's the question, isn't it? We already know why, though. It's
And we've got Fia,
animal agriculture.
Lori, our friends. All of us are good friends for a long time, and it's so nice to have all of these people coming together on this, like you and Jane and Elaine, and it's just so exciting because you guys are big voices for the animals. We've been doing this for a long time, and to unite like this, Fia has her movie now, Mermaid Out, and so she's got a lot of fans, and anybody who has fans, bring them on board, teach them about the horses. Let's save our freedom in the horses, because these horses are they're suffering and they don't have a voice, and we have to be their voice. And we've been the voice for so many other animals, but right now we need to focus on them because this is happening on such a quick level. These roundups are happening so fast. It's almost makes your head spin, and more horses in captivity. We don't need more horses in captivity.
We don't have, there's nobody to take care of them. And just like you were saying, just to show expert Craig Downer, these roundups are done to clear the range for the livestock ranchers. Absolutely. Not just cattle, but also sheep. And they are also eliminating many of the pinyon juniper forests in order to make the public lands more of a pasture for livestock. Now, this is
and those are my favorite pine nuts. Oh my gosh.
Really?
They're my favorite. And I did read about that because I love pine nuts, and I was thinking, they're so expensive, maybe I can grow my own. And I started learning about it, and they're wiping out the trees that create the pine nuts. Very interesting.
Wow. That's
and they're extremely healthy, those pine nuts. Very, very healthy.
Well, that brings up the key point, though, Sky, right? That once the horses are gone, the wildlife is gone, the horses, the wolves, the elks, all of the animals. I've done stories on the elks, same thing, cattle ranchers. Once they've decimated and killed the whole forest, we die. We die.
Exactly.
We don't have to worry about, with all due respect, we don't have to worry about pine nuts. We're not going to have to worry about eating. We'll be gone.
Right. Exactly.
We are just like with the sea, when the sea dies. When the sea dies.
The ironic thing is, what they're doing is already killing us.
Right.
Eating beef and eating animals is already bad for us, and it kills us. It's not healthy for us to intake. So they're doing something that's destroying the environment, hurting the horses, hurting us, and we're allowing it to happen. And it's time that we go, no, we don't. It's unsustainable. We don't need it for our health. It's cruel. And I really believe that, maybe it's time that we start doing an investigation and figuring this out, because it's gone on a long time and we can't continue. We'd like just pretending this is not happening and just saying it's so sad. So sad. We need change.
No, we need action.
Action for wildhorses.com.
Yes, absolutely.
actionforwildhorses.com. We'll eventually, over the weekend, we're working on that, and it'll link you straight to our website again. So that's easier to remember, actionforwildhorses.com. Yeah, so then it'll go straight to the website, and then you can read all about the links and how to help.
That would be so awesome. So we'll definitely get that link up. So
and
what
if you
else
want to volunteer for the concert, you can also volunteer. We were still
volunteer for the concert, and so
you can come to the concert, volunteer, wear your cowboy hat, give out some information to the guests that are coming through, sign some people up. It's going to be a fun time.
Cowboys vegan.
I'm sorry, honey.
I said turn some cowboys vegan. That would be good.
Yeah, why not? I think in a way this could be a win-win in many ways, because I noticed that a lot of people that were at the rally, I don't mean to be, mean or anything, but they were overweight. And I don't think they realize that the connection of the cattle and the horses and what they're eating. So when I was at the rally, I actually gave out why vegan flyers to everybody. And they looked at it and they looked at me, and I kind of said, it's not going to end if we continue supporting eating beef. And I think that kind of registered a little bit. So this could snowball into something that helps everybody, helps their health, people that are not really making the connection, but love horses, that if they change their diet, not only are they going to get healthier, but they're also going to help the horses, and all the other wonderful animals that are being destroyed due to this practice. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it could be something really cool.
Craig is watching, I think continue to watch, and you mentioned the pine nuts, and he's such an expert, he jumped in. Let's just read what he said.
Okay.
The pine nuts were a staple for thousands of years for the Native American, much better food source when moderately harvested to leave plenty for wildlife, much better than the meat from livestock. The natural PJ woodland will help combat, this is really small type, combat global warming, as will the wild horses and barrows. See my articles on carbon sequestering, and he gives the website horsetalk.co.nz. We'll put that up, Craig. It's quite long.
Thank you, Craig.
Remember.
And like I said, pine nuts are my favorite. I put them on everything, but they're so ridiculously expensive. And when I read up on it, I couldn't believe how they're wiping out these trees. It doesn't make sense, especially when it's such a healthy thing for humans and for the nature. So if anything, we should be planting more, getting more pine nuts everywhere. But I have a feeling that the more we get it out there, the bigger the campaign grows, things are going to change. I have to feel that way. And I think that with your help, Lindsay, and getting, some more of our experts on your show, yeah, people will stand up for the horses and the burros because they know it's the right thing to do.
No, we're going to keep fighting the fight. We're going to keep doing shows on this constantly, so people will learn more. Yes, thank you for all you do. You've been an activist for what, since you were like just a teeny little girl?
I was only this little. No, what happened is I saw the movie Flashdance, and I fell in love with the pit bull in that movie. And when I rescued a pit bull, because I saw that movie, I said, I have to have that dog. And then she was poisoned during the pit bull scares. And back when pit bulls were the big news all over the media. And so she was poisoned. And after that happened, I learned about pit bulls and the plight of the dog fighting. And that's how I got involved with rescue. And that was in 1999. And then we were the first vegan dog food rescue. So we called ourselves the home of the veggie dog. And so it's kind of snowballed into this vegan, humane outreach, rescue.
You're all over rescuing animals every way you can help, even Rocky the Rock Lobster.
Yes, Auntie.
Not even, Auntie being too. I say even, but I mean, Rocky the Rock Lobster. You're all over. You're helping all different species.
The underdogs are the ones who need the help. The horses, the lobsters, the pigs. The ones that people don't usually cuddle with, they need help. And that's why they get annihilated and brutalized, because they aren't fluffy and cute. But to me, Rocky the Rock Lobster is the cutest little guy. And he has so many intricate communicational skills. And he knows me. He comes right up to the glass, when he sees me. Yeah, he's a bright little guy. And don't forget, they live forever, much longer than people. So they have to be intelligent.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, and we have a new viewer here from the Philippines, and we want to say hi to Bert. Thank you for watching. It's so great to get our message out about veganism and compassion, and really, Sky, what you're talking about when you talk about these not so fuzzy creatures that people don't give attention to. We have that in our own human society. The elderly people are like, there's ageism, and both of us are experiencing
or homeless people. We've done the homeless
people. Yeah.
They have so a hard time.
The LGBTQ community, they also need to be. So it's compassion. It's overall everyone. We need to have more compassion. When you drive down the street, people are like, you take a second longer than you're supposed to. Someone's blaring their horn. What is that? How can we live together?
Well, what happens is I've been really watching what's been throwing at people in the media, what they throw at you every day. And what I've been noticing, what they throw at you is a lot of murder shows, a lot of violence, meat, fast food, drugs. And that's what you're constantly seeing every, 5 minutes. And eventually it sinks in. And sometimes you just got to turn that off and say, you know what, we got to go back to nature. We got to go back to love and love each other. Quit bickering about, vaccinations and masks and this and that. We are never all going to agree, but we need to love each other and understand each other and have the big picture of stop abusing the environment, stop abusing the kids, stop abusing the animals. Once we get that in our hearts, we're going to be good. Yeah.
Absolutely
We have to
right.
understand each other, and there's just way too much fighting going on, too much bickering. It's been going on since I started my nonprofit 22 years ago. There was always bickering going on, but it's time to unite. It's no more time for bickering. We're losing the planet. We're losing a lot of stuff, our freedom in a lot of ways, and we need to unite and be kind to each other and really love each other and save our natural resources like the pine trees and the horses and the water, and and give the freedom to the pigs. These poor animals that we just keep abusing every single day and by the millions. The karma can't be good.
No.
It's time to change this and not just say how sad.
And let's just give a shout out to Stop the Eats Act, to contact your representatives, your congresspersons, and tell them no on the Eats Act. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm actually going to be sharing out some information on that as well.
Great. And if you want, Lindsay, you can give me some information for the concert too, and I can have that out there too.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great. So this is great. And people are making comments, more comments coming in. Global warming is real, animal agriculture. We know this. And I think, Sky, on some of the other networks where I'll be sharing this out, your video as well, or our broadcast, people know this. I think that's so good about what you're doing with the veganized, getting the word out about recipes and stuff. And I see you put out a lot of really cool recipes on Facebook.
I'm a foodie.
You're really good. And your photography is good too. I mean, I see food. I go, did she take that picture? No offense.
I want my food to look
they're
good.
So good.
I love eating. You know that I'm such a foodie. You and I have eaten together and prepared stuff together.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy and fun to be vegan. It's not a burden at all. It's an adventure. And every time I find something new, I'm excited like a little kid. Like, oh my God, you got this new product, and I can try it and experiment with it. And pretty much anything that's made out of meat and dairy, I can make vegan and make it taste better. So there's no reason to keep abusing unless you just like abusing, and who wants to abuse their bodies? Right now, we need our immune system stronger than ever. So to me, just having your avocado and a banana a day, you're on the right track already. They're full of nutrients. There's that banana girl, and all she eats is bananas. A raw foodist. She pretty much. You should check out Banana Girl. She has an incredible body, and she's a raw foodist. And I don't know. I'm almost like thinking about starting to dabble in that too, because the people I've heard who are raw foodists look amazing.
Yes.
They're bright and healthy, and their skin is so clean and fresh. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should try it.
Yeah.
Even though I like my chili and my pizza.
I think it's good, if the least thing is maybe go on it every so often, do like a month raw, and then you're like just ready for a photo shoot. We've got more comments here. A couple more comments coming. Time is almost here, 2 a.m. God bless you to everyone. Okay. Well, thank you. And again, we're having a good time, but we really want to take this matter very seriously. We've just been friends a long time. It's great to catch up with you, but this is so important for people to take action. So please go over to stmartinsrescue.org and take the steps.
Please help the horses. They really need you now more than ever. And, they can't speak for themselves. It doesn't take much time out of your day just to go to the website, read a few stories, take it in, understand the truth. And, there's always going to be controversy back and forth, but find out where your resources are coming from. Find out who is actually giving you the information, and if they're, making money off these horses, or if they really just care about these horses and their well-being. And, and continue supporting any way you can. Yeah. We're going to have great t-shirts and hats and all kinds of things available, posters. So keep checking our website, because every day it's changing and new people are coming on board.
And just to leave people with a thought of, it's not sentimentality. I was just going through this one picture here, And where these two horses are facing off, this is actually something going on. And this is Craig's photo. But when horses stand off like this, it means one is protecting another, or they're taking control of the herd. There's a whole, what I'm saying is there's a whole communication system, and we've mentioned it, but I want to bring it back to, these are families, folks, families that are being broken up, and we can't sit back anymore. And like Sky just said, just say, oh, that's so sad. Take action, please.
Take action.
Do everything you can. Everything you can. Check out the website.
actionforwildhorses.com. That will be up this weekend. So tell everybody, actionforwildhorses.com. It's such a simple thing to remember. And we'll make, like I said, t-shirts, and we'll keep promoting it until it goes viral, until we get these horses some relief. Right. And the burros.
Yes, of course. The wild
the
horse.
Burritos.
It's the Wild Horse and Burros Act of 1970s that protected them. So we need to uphold that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And they need to stand by it. And also they gave them this land, and they're getting driven off their own land.
Yes.
So,
well,
I'm glad you played that footage, Lindsay, because the footage that you played at the beginning, and maybe, I don't know if you can play it again, is really.
Play it again right now. Just we'll go off with that. I think that's a good idea.
That would be great. Because people really need to see, this is not something that's fun to watch. This is
not going to be fun to watch, folks.
Abusive.
So, just warning.
Hard to watch. So I thank you so much. And Jane Velez Mitchell, for always supporting us. We've known her for a long time too. And boy, you guys are just doing incredible. Getting the word out there about everything. So hopefully we can do this again,
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe after the concert, after more things happen, so that we can let you know, what the new plan of action is, and how we can really just nail this coffin shut.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, when you're fighting something this big, you have to be ready to, zigzag and do whatever it is you have to do. So
right, you have to be able to go with the flow and do whatever because I'm following the environmentalists. I'm following the people who have been doing this for a long time. So if they give me maybe this is what next game of action, then I'm going to follow what they say. But I'm also vegan, so I have my own little plans too, to get more people on board to go vegan, to save the horses.
Yeah.
If we didn't have to eat beef, we wouldn't even have this issue. So let's, get more people healthy and educated, and get these horses homes, and just cut out
stop the
roundups. The roundups have to stop. They just have to. And we're going to do it somehow.
We'll do it.
Yes.
Okay. On that note, folks, thanks for watching, and please share out the video. Please take action. One more time, the campaign, name of the campaign.
actionforwildhorses.com. Action for Wild Horses is the name of the campaign. The website will be up this weekend, and please tell all of your friends, and please donate, because it's costly to do these radio spots and billboards. But that's the way we're going to play with the big boys. And it's a marketing campaign, basically, because just like they market burgers, we're going to be marketing ending the roundups. Same thing.
Absolutely. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.